Joining us now is political analyst Dennis Coronacion as the House resumes impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte despite legal challenges. Prof, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Prof. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Mama Angela and Sir Diego. Thank you for having me.
All right, Prof. Dennis, narinig mo yung opening
Opening
statement, no? What do you make of it?
Well, a bit of it, no? Pero yung opening statement niya is ni Congresswoman Luistro. I think we somehow expected it from her, no? So she narrates what do you call this, yung bang ano, the need for the impeachment to push through despite the economic woes and despite the other problems that our country has been facing. And some other things regarding the impeachment, kasama na yung legal challenges, ano.
Well, the House of Representatives, especially the House committee members, are very vocal and transparent naman doon sa kanilang stand pagdating doon sa judicial overreach na tinatawag kumbaga yung pakikialam, for lack of a better term, ng Supreme Court doon sa mga ibang mga procedures ng House of Representatives. But yesterday, meron na naman TRO galing po sa Duterte camp, mainly dun sa asawa ni Vice President Sara Duterte. What happens then now kapag ito ay nagdesisyon not in favor, no, doon dito sa pagsabina sa pina, no, ng salin ng mag-asawa?
Well, yun nga kung ano, no, yun rin ang isang tanong kasi yung at least yung previous petition coming from the Duterte camp filed before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court did not grant the request for the issuance of a TRO. So that
Yeah.
that paved the way for the continuation of this impeachment proceedings. So naging tahimik yung Supreme Court doon, and this time around sa lower court naman. So I don't know if an RTC court is given the mandate or is allowed to issue a TRO against mga initiatives and actions being done at the House of Representatives. So I think that will be that will be an issue. Tingnan natin if really an RTC court can stop the proceedings that are being done by the lower house or by the House of Representatives. Pero in the meantime, habang wala pa yan, but definitely that's going to affect, I think even if there is no clear legal answer to that question, somehow there is that concern. It poses a concern to our lawmakers, especially at the House of Representatives, uh, kung ano magiging kung ano magiging fate. Kasi somehow isipin ng mga tao pag nag-issue ng ng TRO, baka kinakailangang ihinto ng House of Representatives yung kanilang impeachment proceedings against the Vice President. But then again, isang malaking legal question.
Prof, bakit, well, a lot of people are asking how come at this point it's still very early actually in the impeachment proceedings, the determination of probable cause pa lang, pero parang bakit yung kampo daw ni VP Sara is going all out to try to stop yung probable cause hearing or from even kay Ramil Madriaga from testifying. If ever he does testify later, will this be damaging to her at this early stage or sa Senado pa if ever umabot?
Well, given the amount of effort exerted by the Vice President's camp to stop at least this part of the impeachment proceedings, we could not help but wonder ano nga ba ang meron sa sasabihin niya ni Mr. Madriaga na pwede makadamage, posible ba makadamage yung sasabihin ni Mr. Madriaga against the Vice President, or baka naman walang pasabog, baka masyadong hyped up lang yung testimony, yung sasabihin ni Mr. Madriaga. So ako from my end siguro ako bilang isang ordinary citizen, I would like to hear what Mr. Madriaga will be telling us, will be telling during his uh, uh, the moment that he's being called upon to give his testimony about what he knows. So yun, sa akin lang ano, no, sana hindi napigilan because the people would like to know the
Right.
truth. See if there's really nothing to hide. At ano, tingin ko kung pawang kasinungalingan lang naman sasabihin yan as alleged by the Duterte camp, then we might as well hear what he's going to say. And hayaan na natin yung ano, no, yung public scrutiny, yung mga tao
Right.
mag-decide kung may credibility ba at valid yung mga statements ni Madriaga.
Pero Prof, have you seen the released affidavit yesterday of Ramil Madriaga? Yung handwritten affidavit niya.
Not yet, pero I know that yung gist ng kanyang ano, no, yung kanyang accusation against the vice president, that allegedly he was the one who I think who took care of the contributions given by certain POG operators and I suppose yung mga ano, no, yung mga illegal drug syndicates.
Prof, ano yung magiging implication nito, no? If the Vice President continues to try to stop the hearing, the impeachment proceedings at this stage, given na early on nang declare na nga siya, nagtatakbo siya Pangulo, so alam ng mga tao may political intent siya.
I think it's going to have a big implication in addition to what you said, Sir Diego, no, na I think in the past she's always being quoted. In the past, she gave us she gave a statement na let there be a bloodbath. So kumbaga man china-challenge pa niya na ituloy itong ano, no, itong impeachment proceedings laban sa kanya. Pero ngayon there seems to be a complete turnaround of her stand that she made before. So nagtataka ang mga tao bakit kaya from her previous very strong stance that she's favorable for the impeachment proceedings to push through, bakit biglang nag-about face, but biglang nagbago. So yun ang isang konteksto na susuriin, na gagamitin upang suriin yung kung ano man yung mga efforts na ginagawa ng kampo ni Vice President to stop the impeachment proceedings against her.
Well, having said that also, Prof, a few days ago, nagkaroon ng bagong presidente, ang PDP Laban, which is the brother of the Vice President, si Baste Duterte, rather, no? Others are seeing this na Plan B, na just in case Vice President Sara Duterte doesn't work out, ma-impeach, etc., meron kang Baste Duterte. But how do you make of that?
Well, it can be a plan B, pero matagal pa yun, kasi 2028 pa yun. I think the reason why, itong rage was created primarily because of the need to harness whatever so-called rage is being, felt by the people against the administration. So, tinatry lang, gamitin ito and to channel it to their advantage, kasi alam naman natin that the Duterte camp has been engaged in such in such initiatives. Every time magkakaroon ng issue ang ating administrasyon, nariyan parati yung opposition led by the Vice President or by the Duterte family to turn the resentments or anger of the Filipino people, use it against the administration. Nakita natin yan noong, I think, nung panahon na yung peak ng flood control scandal. So nagkaroon ng mga mobilization ng mga tao by various camps, kasama doon yung mga pro-Duterte supporters, and including Iglesia ni Cristo. So they tried to harness yung ganung resentment ng mga tao against the flood control mess, or regarding the flood control mess, and use it against the president. So kaya nga lang limited yung impact nung time ng mga previous attempts. I don't know this time if they're going to succeed. And again, the difference I think the difference between this current attempt by the Duterte camp is that dito nakapronta na yung Duterte family. At least a member of the Duterte family. Nandiyan na si Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte. So, unlike in the previous attempts, parang behind the scene lang sila
Yeah.
So, pero this time parang very courageous na sila and brave at may nilagyan na nila ng muka yung itong current attempt to harness the resentment of the people supposedly kasi nga because of the oil crisis um, and the
Yeah.
economic woes.
Mm-mm.
So, try nila and this time around meron ng leadership from the Duterte family.
Well, there's a lot to
Unpack.
unpacked in this situation at tayo susubaybay pa rin doon sa ongoing impeachment hearing ngayon sa House of Representatives. But for the meantime, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, political analyst Dennis Coronation. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat po.